Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to race number 2 of TCR South America and TCR Brazil. Banco BRB, we are live from CURVELO in Minas Gerais States, in the east center of Brazil. Waiting for race number 2. The race with the inverted grid. Will it be the glorious debut for Leonardo Reis? The 21-year-old from Brazil has pole position for this race. Alongside Juan Angel Rosso in the front row, Gennaro Rassetto is joining Fabian Gianantuoni in the second row. Following penalties for Pedro Cardoso and Mariano Pernilla, who are demoted to the back of the grid. Having Rafael Reis and Leonel Pernilla in the third row, ahead of Nelson Piquet Jr. and pole sitter Thiago Pernilla. Enzo Gianfratti and Celso Neto will take fifth row. Adrian Chiriano is behind Gianfratti in the TCR trophy order. On the grid, joining Mariano Cotter, Fernando Croce, Mariano Pernilla and Cardoso, the 15 entrants for this race as sorted in the starting grid. Here is the entry list also for TCR Brazil. We are having the same race valid for two different championships. TCR Brazil is basically the same TCR South America grid, except for Gennaro Rassetto, Leonel Pernilla and Mariano Pernilla, who only take part in the TCR South America contest. Beautiful afternoon in Brazil, beautiful afternoon in CURVELO in Minas Gerais, as we have the whole grid shaped up, as we're expecting the race to kick off, to start in a matter of less than 10 minutes. This is Leonardo Reis, the 21-year-old making his debut in the series, young brother of Rafael Reis.
Boa tarde a todos ligados nesta transmissão. Boa tarde especial aqui diretamente do Circuito dos Cristais. E eu vou comentar uma coisa que vocês já devem ter comentado aí nas transmissões sobre a temperatura. Obviamente, a gente encontra um cenário completamente diferente da manhã, da primeira corrida que largou às 9h30. Teve aí Thiago Pernilla conquistando a sua segunda vitória, na realidade a sua primeira vitória, né? E a gente vai conversar aqui com Fabian Gianantuoni, que não pôde largar de manhã por problemas mecânicos. Fabian, muy buenas tardes. ¿Qué tal el auto? ¿Qué tal el coche? ¿Fue posible solucionar todos los problemas?
Sí, buenas tardes, la verdad que sí. Se pudo solucionar con lo justo, nos quedamos sin embrague, se rompió el volvín de embrague antes de largar la carrera 1. Así que bueno, se terminó recién con lo justo, pero bien, está el auto en condiciones para poder largar, estamos en una buena posición.
Muitas graças, suerte. Lembrando então, traduzindo aqui para o pessoal, ele tem problema de embreagem. Quem vai largar na ponta aqui é o Léo Reis que se destacou bastante aí durante o qualifying. Ele que liderou o Q1, teve problemas no Q2 e agora, por causa da inversão do grid, vai largar. Ele que está estreando na categoria, vamos ver. Conquistou um 7º lugar aí na corrida 1 e vamos ver o que todos esses carros vão conseguir fazer aqui nesta última corrida do fim de semana. Boa transmissão, boa corrida e eu volto com as entrevistas do pódio.
This is Juan Angel Rosso, who starts in the second place, joining Leonardo Reis in front row. This is Gianantuoni getting hydrated prior to the race starts. He will certainly need so. Here is our grid on screen. I think we have a car missing. I'm talking about Mariano Pernilla. We'll see if he starts from the pit lane as we surf through our starting grid for today's race. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to welcome you to TCR South America and TCR Brazil. My name is Francisco Aure. We're really grateful to have our company. This is Gennaro Rossetto, who is enjoying possibly his best weekend so far in his career in TCR South America. He qualified in 5th yesterday. He finished in 5th today and is now moved up to 4th on the grid.
Maurício Slaviero, que é
promotor TCR
no Brasil, por favor, suas palavras sobre o início da temporada da TCR Brasil, Banco BRB.
É isso aí, estamos aqui na primeira etapa, temos mais 4 pela frente. A primeira corrida do final de semana já foi excelente, foi muito legal. Um argentino ganhando aqui, vamos ver se agora ganha um brasileiro, né? Nessa etapa. O Léo Reis aqui largando na pole, o que é super bacana, porque a primeira corrida que ele está participando está mostrando que tem um potencial gigante. E eu acho que vai ter uma corrida super legal, super emocionante.
Tá certo, muito obrigada. E agora sim, nós vamos aí nos aproximando da largada.
Now shift the focus to the start of the race. That was Maurício Slaviero, one of the key members of TCR South America and TCR Brazil, the promoter for this latter country for Brazil, alongside Argentina's Felipe Magal, the ones that are bringing up this tournament since 2021, a tournament that was actually completely created in the middle of the COVID pandemic back in 2020. We had the picture of the back of the grid, and we saw that actually Mariano Pernia's car was not on the grid. We'll see if he starts from the pit lane, or we will have 14 cars kicking off this last race of the weekend. As we said, this is the first stop of TCR South America and TCR Brazil. Three minutes to the start of the race. That's Nelson Piquet Jr., who finished on the podium in the first race. We're really grateful also for having all your company in these events. TCR South America in Curvelo in Minas Gerais. This is the Circuito dos Cristais. Its name in Portuguese means the Circuit of Crystals. A twisty track, 28 Celsius degrees. It's a lovely afternoon despite South America is in the middle of the winter season. About 53 Celsius degrees. Is certainly 127 Fahrenheit degrees. That's the track temperature, of course. But it gives us the picture that it's a very, very hot day. 82 Fahrenheit degrees is the air temperature converted from Celsius, which is the units used in South America. As you see now, Adrian Chiriano on car number 88 on the left side. On the right is Mariano Cotter. Then we'll have Fernando Croce, and as we see, no Mariano Pernia in this race number 2 unless he takes the start from the pit lane, and we have not seen that yet, as we have now the starting grid on screen. Leonardo Reis, the 21-year-old, making his debut from Brazil, starting on pole position, followed by Juan Angel Rosso, who wants to win once again in the season for Palladini Racing, takes the starting second. Fabian Gianantuoni behind him, his teammates. We'll see if Palladini Racing goes for a 1-2 in the race. Gennaro Rossetto starts in the best Peugeot in 4th place for PMO Racing, followed by Rafael Reis in the other Cupra of W2 Pro GP. In 5th, Leonel Pernia is in 6th for Honda YPF Racing, certainly very keen on moving up quickly. Nelson Piquet Jr. takes the start in 7th for Honda YPF Racing. Thiago Pernia, who scored pole position yesterday, is starting in 8th place. He moved 2 places ahead with some penalties. Enzo Gianfrati is starting in 9th, leading TCR Trophy pack. Celso Neto, another debutant, in 10th place for Paladini Racing with an Audi, ahead of Adrian Ciriano, 2nd placed in TCR Trophy, ahead of Marianne Cotter. There she is in 12th place, the 19-year-old from Brazil, followed by another rookie, Fernando Croce, taking the entry also for TCR Trophy. Behind him is Mariano Pernia, who was not seen on the grid. We'll see if he starts from the pit lane or not. And in 15th place is Pedro Cardoso, the reigning champion, who had been demoted to the back of the grid after an engine change. And everything is getting ready on the starting grid. Everything is set. The cars are taking their spots on the grid. And now everything will be ready with the lights. And then we'll go racing in Brazil, in Curvelo. Everything is getting ready. The green flag is waving in the background, and we'll kick off another race in TCR South America. The lights are on and off we go. Now we go racing in Curvelo. A good start from Juan Angel Rosso from 2nd place. I think he will beat Leonardo Reis for the lead of the race. Yes, he does. Reis wants to go to the inside. Gianantoni remains in 3rd place as the Hondas move up. Rafael Reis battling also for 4th position. And Leonel Pernia already moving up a few places. Rasetto dropped back a little bit on the grid from 4th place. I think he's 1 or 2 places down. 2 places, in fact, ahead of him is Leonel Pernia, who took a very good start. And Rafael Reis too. Now leading the pack is Juan Angel Rosso, ahead of the debutant Leonardo Reis, who is closely following him in 2nd place. Gianantoni remains in 3rd, just like he started. Behind is Leonel Pernia, the series leader, who needs to pick up the pace and be ahead of his title rivals Pedro Cardoso and his teammate Nelson Piquet Jr. There is Thiago Pernia battling with Cardoso, who quickly moved up a few places. Pedro Cardoso, who has done a massive start. He's overtaken a few cars already from the back of the grid. Amazing start by Juan Angel Rosso. Pernia did not start the race, actually, as we have in our timing screens, and now they are completing the first lap of the race. Race scheduled to 30 minutes plus 1 lap. It's Rosso leading from race for a half a second. Gianantoni in 3rd. Then Leonel Pernia, Rafael Reis, Rasetto, Gianfrati leading TCR Trophy. Cardoso up in 8th place. That's amazing. An amazing start from the series defending champion. Celso Neto and Thiago Pernia round off the top 10, ahead of Piquet Jr., Ciriano, Croce and Marianne Cotter. The best sector 1 was from Gianantoni in 3rd place. He has a bit of a breath ahead as Reis is almost a second behind him. The timing screen says that the start was everything in place without any trouble. There is Cardoso being chased by Enzo Gianfrati for 7th. Cardoso already overtook Gianfrati. Behind Gianfrati is Celso Neto. Remember the whole grid, unless except for Leonel Pernia and Rasetto, is racing for TCR Brazil. There is Neto going through to the inside and diving into the last turn, the Curva da Vittoria, to see if he can overtake Enzo Gianfrati. Also Thiago Pernia on the inside, 3 wide in Curvelo. closing the second lap of the race. This is a wonderful picture. Thiago Pernilla with a quick speed in his Honda. He's rounding out in the outside and moving up a few places. Nice move by the kid, the 21-year-old who won race number 1 earlier in the morning. In very good form for Honda YPF Racing. He scored pole position yesterday and now did a very nice move to jump a few spots. Anyway, Pedro Cardoso is well ahead of him, and Gianfrati has now lost a few places, but he is ahead of Chiriano, leading the TCR trophy. Juan Angel Rosso is here. Followed by Leonardo Reis. This is Juan Angel Rosso. Also on car number 16, ahead of the rookie Leonardo Reis, who arrives from NASCAR Brazil. And here is Mariano Pernilla finally joining the race, 2 laps down already anyway, as Rosso comes to close another lap. We will see plenty of these. The cars were earlier in the morning in a single line, but now it looks much more spread around as they need to cool down the engines and the tires and the brakes and everything. Remember, we are on 53 Celsius degrees on track temperature. That's over 127 Fahrenheit degrees. 82 Fahrenheit degrees, 28 Celsius degrees of air temperature. So the high temperatures are a big challenge for all the cars and the drivers as well. Look how close is Leonardo Reis to Juan Angel Rosso. He's leading the race. We are now in the downhill. That takes us to the last turn. Of the race, as now it's a very shaped up race with Leonardo Reis chasing for the lead of the race. Juan Angel Rosso, he manages to keep Gianantoni quite behind. Let's have a look at this replay. They were very close. We've seen Juan Angel Rosso jumping that curve earlier in race 1. Now Gianantoni, his teammate, is doing so. That is a big effort for the cars. Oh, Celso Neto stopped, and I wonder if this will mean a safety car on track. It seems to be a dangerous position. Celso Neto in a very unfortunate debut for Palladini Racing. And this can lead us to trouble. Juan Angel Rosso, Rafael Reis and Leonardo Reis, sorry, in first and second. Gianantoni is in third. Leonel Pernilla, the standings leader, is in fourth position. And look at this, they are all very close to each other. And yeah, this could be well, it's not a dangerous position, but certainly it's a really difficult situation to be in. They're closing one more lap. Mariano Pernilla is now the first one on screen. He's moving aside to let the wholesale pass. But anyway, it might be useful to gather some data for the team. Celso Neto has managed to rejoin the race. There is Fernando Croce, taking a whole lap away. So Neto has been lapped by the whole field. As you see, the first part of the track that was opened in 2016, planned in 2012, built in 2013. Celso Neto is there, just crawling back into the pits. I think his race will be over as soon as he crosses the line and gets into his garage. We are about to complete a third of the race. This is Juan Angel Rosso still being chased by Leonardo Reis. And this is Celso Neto. "20 minutes remaining." This is the whole field going through the first part of the track, and now they're heading into the back straights. Reis is very close to Juan Angel Rosso, but still really given a nightmare of a race to Juan Angel Rosso. Very, very close to each other. They are. The last lap was 126.41 for Juan Angel Rosso, 126.18 for Leonardo Reis. And that certainly means something. That's the replay of Rafael Reis being overtaken alongside Pedro Cardoso, Gennaro Raseto. Raseto back in 7th now. It's a very, very hot afternoon in Curvelo. We're 150 kilometers away from Minas Gerais capital city, Belo Horizonte. About to cross the middle points of the race. The fastest lap was set by Pedro Cardoso, 125.4, but we are already lapping a second or over slower. That means that the cars are feeling a big wear. This is Enzo Gianfrati with some war scars behind in the rear left tire that goes in the air. They brake. Angel Rosso can't do any quick race. This is ...16 minutes remaining. This is TCR South America's race number 2. Another race is just 0.4 of a second behind the race leader, Juan Angel Rosso. Cars are completing one more lap. Juan Angel Rosso, Leonardo Reis and Fabian Gianantoni all in 3 different lines, as you can see. Lionel Pernia is in 4th place. In 5th is Rafael Reis. There is Cardoso up into 6th place, starting from the last on the grid. Rafael Reis touches a bit of gravel and waves that dust cloud. Look at Juan Angel Rosso getting close to the lead of TCR Brazil Championship. Here is Juan Angel Rosso leading the race in the middle points. Circuito dos Cristais is hosting us for this race. Here they are heading into turn number 1 to the right. Braking. You have a different layout opening to the left of the track. This is Gianfratti slowing down. Oh, this changes the lead of the race in TCR Trophy. As here are the leaders heading through the Alsado Stock, as this part of the track is named, getting into the last sector of Gianfratti, crawling back to the pits, and he will have to be very, very careful. No, I see no yellow flags around. That's not good from the stewards. Hope they don't mind. Here's Gianfratti stopping on track, and this could mean a safety car. Here they are heading into the Alfa Norte. Then the twin turns, Gemea 1 and 2. And the car is starting again. Curva do Anzol is where Gianfratti stopped. Here is turn 16, and now after to the right, the Curva da Vittoria, the victory turn, as this is the main straight of Curvelo circuits in Brazil. Rosso leads, still less than 0.3 of a second of gap. Rafael Reis is here in 5th position, followed by Pedro Cardoso. Reis well behind Leonel Pernia, who also cannot catch Fabian Gianantoni. Lap times are still all above 1:26. Gianfranti finally crawls back into And here are the leaders of the race. You can see that Rosso cannot pull away from spinning off the Toyota from Cobra Racing. Struggling. Here is the final stretch of the race, the final third of the race. The lap times are now up more and more. We are already a whole second ahead above the quickest lap times we had earlier on the race. We have 13 cars on track running. Celso Neto is down 3 laps after his incident, but still in the race. And look at Leonardo Reis running a little bit wide in that turn. It was the Curva Norte, now entering the Gemeias turns. This is the boomerang turn to the left, uphill, and now we head into turn number 16, as this has the name No Matter, which is the layout. Then take the Curva da Vittoria and we go back into the main straights. Here is Nelson Piquet Jr. still trying to change the spots. Higher, Thiago Pernilla is behind him. Ahead of Piquet is Gennaro Rossetto in 7th. And look at this, 112 points of advantage from Pernilla, Leonel Pernilla, who is now in 4th, to Nelson Piquet Jr., who is in 8th place. Enzo Gianfranti. He's many laps down, 4 laps down, 7 minutes remaining. Celso Neto made it back to the pits. Juan Angel Rosso leading the way, but Reis is still on the hunt for the win. We'll see if anybody of this is saving tires or has an extra to give in the last laps. This is Juan Angel Rosso, who is still leading the race since the very first meter of it. But will Leonardo Reis be the battle? I think he will. Now Gian Antonio is a bit farther behind second place. I wouldn't be surprised that we see some attempts from the Cupra. Second place is a massive result for Leonardo Reis, but certainly if you are in second and you have the first place right in front of you, well, I doubt you don't try anything. Here we have the aerial view. Reis taken Rosso very carefully, but Rosso is leading the race. However, nothing is decided yet. Last 5 minutes of the race in Curvelo. From here we'll head into the second stop of Brazil. Look at this, whoa, Piquet Jr. like a 1990s BTCC move from the Brazilian. Here are the drivers placed from the bottom, like this one. Fernando Croce, who is moving away so he doesn't disturb the leaders. He's already lapped. Round will be in Rio Grande do Sul by the end of October. Then we'll have Goiânia and Interlagos. Juan Angel Rosso taking the last 2 minutes of the race. This is Rosso leading the race ahead of Leonardo Reis, who's having a masterful debut, 21 years old. Racing in these cars for the first time. The only rookie with experience was Celso Neto, who has been driving these TCR cars in the United States in the IMSA Championship. A whole minute behind Adrian Chiriano will take the win in TCR Trophy. And the podium will be the same for both TCR South America and TCR Brazil for sure. And Leonardo Reis is chasing Juan Angel Rosso. This seems to be not yet over. I wouldn't be so sure. Last 25 seconds. We'll head into the last 2 laps of the race, possibly. As here are in the north turn. Then going into the twins. Here they are. Leonardo Reis is giving a nightmare of a race to Juan Angel Rosso, selling very expensive price for his defeats. And we are heading into the final lap of the race for Juan Angel Rosso. It's the final lap as the clock has ticked down to 0, so last chances for Leonardo Reis to overtake Juan Angel Rosso and see if he can do anything that can hand him the win, unless Rosso can control him in the last part of the race. This is the final lap. Juan Angel Rosso will be able to win the race, seems. And here is the battle between the Hondas of Thiago Pernia and Piquet Jr. Piquet overtook Raceto for 8th place. Not the best of performances in the car for Raceto in this race. This is the replay. Thiago Pernia was battling with Raceto and then Piquet took the advantage. We are now heading into the last part of the race, last turns. In the twins turn is Juan Angel Rosso. This is the final stretch of the race for him. Juan Angel Rosso comes out into the main straight, and it will be a victory in Brazil, double victory for Argentina in TCR South America in Brazil. Juan Angel Rosso is here taking the win ahead of a masterful Leonardo Reis, who had a very impressive debut in the series. Fabian Giannatoni completes the podium ahead of Leonel Pernia, who is now in great shape once again at the title, followed by Rafael Reis and Pedro Cardoso in 6th place. Thiago Pernia and Nelson Piquet Jr. are finishing 7th and 8th. Gennaro Raceto is in 9th, and Adrian Chiriano will win in TCR Trophy. This is him taking the last turns. He will win unless Enzo Gianfratti can do anything else, but here they are. Everything is now smiling for Adrian Chiriano, who has won. And here is the winner of TCR Trophy 2. Here are the final standings. Juan Angel Rosso in first, Leonardo Reis in second, Fabian Giannatoni in third. Same podium for TCR Brazil. Leonel Pernia in fourth, Rafael Reis, Pedro Cardoso, Thiago Pernia, Nelson Piquet Jr., Gennaro Raceto, and in 10th, winning TCR Trophy is Adrian Chiriano. Here is Juan Ángel Rosso celebrating the win. Come, he says to the cameraman. Here he is, celebrating, very, very happy. 1-3 for Palladini Racing. Something broke ahead at the front, says Fabián Gianantoni.
Buena carrera. Está muy rápido, tiene carrera, tranquilo. Usted tiene que ir más despacio.
Oh, it's your first race. You've been too quick. You have to be slower, says Juan Ángel Rosso, joking with Leonardo Reis, who apparently didn't get too much of the joke. But anyway, he was in a friendly mood from the race winner towards somebody who has given huge credentials in his first race, Leonardo Reis. He led Q1 yesterday, then qualified in 10th after a mistake he committed as he spoke earlier in the morning ahead of race 1. And he did confirm the strong potential he has. Has a really good future in TCR racing. Leonardo Reis, the youngster, the young brother of Rafael Reis. Now, some highlights of the race are here with us. Here are some really very good images of our race. Go now heading into the podium shortly. We've seen a massive race. There's Fabián Gianantoni.
Parabéns. Parabéns. Primeira salinha.
Going through past Santiago Di Pardo PR for the series. Time to have a drink. End of the race. Thiago Pernilla there. Let's hear from the winner from
Domínio argentino esse ano, não teve jeito. A festa também está sendo argentina aqui em Curvelo. Juan Ángel Rosso, como é ganhar em um circuito inédito en la categoría? Felicitaciones.
Muy lindo, la verdad que, bueno, sabía que el único lugar para pasarlo era en la largada y después aguantarlo porque anduvo muy rápido todo el fin de semana. Así que, bueno, obviamente felicitarlo porque debutó el fin de semana. No es poco lo que hizo. Y contento, muy contento. Carrera con mucho calor, muy difícil, pero un circuito que era muy difícil pasar y entonces supe que si yo no me equivocaba era muy difícil que le encuentre un hueco para tirarse.
Bueno, muchísimas gracias, felicitaciones a celebrar en el podio. Y ahora voy a hablar con Adrián Chiriano. Adrián, felicitaciones. ¿Cómo fue la conquista de esta victoria hoy aquí en Curvelo con las condiciones, pista inédita, alta temperatura?
Sí, durísimo. La verdad que me fue muy duro, mucho calor, mucha temperatura. El tocar deja otro neumático diferente al nuestro y se ponen difíciles los autos. La pista que está muy concentrado no puede cerrar porque te golpeas. Y bueno, hicimos un gran trabajo. Agradecerle a todo el equipo, al equipo Honda IPF, a Seba Martino, a Víctor Prugós por todo el esfuerzo, el trabajo que hacen. Se lo quiero dedicar a Meli, que me acompaña siempre, a mi vieja que le está mirando en Argentina, a mi hijo Ayrton por el Día del Niño y a mi viejo.
A celebrar, vamos ao pódio.
Kids Day in Argentina, Children's Day in Argentina, so that was dedicated also to his children, to his son. This is Leonardo Reis. Remember this face. He has a huge future ahead in a TCR. Look at all the drivers exhausted. Marian Incoter in the red suit is also having a drink.
Anunciamos neste momento a premiação TCR South America, TCR Brasil. Vamos à entrega neste momento da melhor pontuação da corrida, a Demicon Drive of the Weekend. E a melhor pontuagem.
This is Laviero there shaking hands with some of the podium finishers.
Thiago Pernilla.
Thiago Pernilla is the driver of the weekend.
Entrega Thiago Pernilla ao pódio. O melhor pontuador, Thiago Pernilla. Vai receber o troféu da Demicon Drive of the Weekend. Aí está ele.
Here he is receiving the trophy.
Anunciamos Deverson Vieira, gerente comercial da Demicon, para fazer a entrega ao piloto Thiago Pernilla.
There's the trophy for our driver of the weekend.
Parabéns, obrigado Thiago, obrigado Deverson. E agora anunciamos a premiação da corrida 2, TCR South America. Chamamos terceiro colocado, Fabian Gianantuoni.
Third place, Fabian Gianantuoni. Here he is receiving the ovation.
Segundo colocado ao pódio, Leo Reis.
Here's the ovation, well deserved for Leonardo Reis, who had a very, very hopeful first weekend in the series. The team representative for Palladini Reis in the winning team.
E o vencedor da corrida no South American TCR 2, Juan Ángel Rosso.
And Juan Ángel Rosso here.
Aí estão eles. Convidamos aos pilotos que se postem para o hino do país vencedor.
Argentinian anthem playing in the background now.
aplauso de vocês aos pilotos e ao piloto Juan Angel Rosso.
Great ovation.
E agora, ergam os troféus. Em cada posto, o seu troféu, por favor. Troféus arriba. Troféus arriba. Ergam os troféus, por favor.
Trophies are...
Agora, no lugar mais alto do pódio, todos na confraternização.
And here is the battle. Pictures are now being taken.
Seus lugares. Convidamos agora. Vamos. Não, ainda o champanhe. Não anunciamos o champanhe, por favor, ao nosso comando a premiação. Por favor, contenham-se no seu lugar. Inclusive a equipe. Nós queremos convidar agora para essa premiação.
We'll hear now
TCR Brasil, Corrida
the
2.
trophy ceremony for TCR Brazil.
Os pilotos ao pódio, Fabian e Antoine. Terceiro
Then, of course, TCR Trophy 2.
Segundo, Léo Reis. Melhor equipe, Paladino. E Juan Angel Rosso. O vencedor mantenha o seu pódio. Agora nós convidamos Lincoln Oliveira, CEO da
Lincoln Oliveira, CEO
e também do
of Vicar, will hand the trophies. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to be with you for this weekend. My name is Francisco Aure. Thank you very much for being with us, and see you soon in 2 months' time in Santa Cruz do Sul.
Nosso grupo e também da Vicar. Aos pilotos. Agora, terceiro colocado, Ian Antoine. Segundo, o Léo Reis. E agora, o Lincoln entrega ao vencedor da corrida, Juan Angel Rosso. E entrega também a melhor equipe, Paladini. Agradeço o Lincoln. E agora sim. E agora, por favor, levantem os troféus primeiro para a foto do pódio. Por favor, cada um no seu posto. Ao nosso comando, por favor. Isso. Muito obrigado. Agora, depois disso, vocês vão se confraternizar no lugar mais alto do pódio. Primeiro...
Claro, la misma carrera la corres por los dos. Sí, pero, anotás.
Pero en Argentina y Uruguay, ¿por qué no es?
No, porque Brasil hace el campeonato brasileño las 4 fechas de Brasil. Sin descargo.
Faremos agora,
El sudamericano
na sequência, a
Estamos
entrega
corriendo ahora la primera
da categoria Copa Trophy da TCR South America, a Copa Trophy, a primeira entrega.
No, todavía no. Leo. ¿Dónde está el color? Dale. Creo que vamos a hacer nota para...
Agora a premiação da Copa Truff, tanto para o Sul América como também TCR Brasil, Corrida 2, Copa Truff. Agora...
Son 2 podios, manténgase ahí. Primero TCR Sudamérica, después TCR Brasil.
Não tem a pontuação. Anunciamos então a premiação da TCR Sul América Copa Trophy. Chamamos o terceiro colocado, Fernando Grossi. Anunciamos agora, segunda colocada, Maria Nienkotter. E o primeiro, o vencedor da Trophy, Corrida 2, Adrian Tiriano. Parabéns, pilotos. Convido Frederico Ponteri, presidente da TCR, para entregar a terceira colocada, ou melhor, ao terceiro colocado, Fernando Grossi. A segunda colocada, Maria Nienkotter. E ao vencedor, Adrian Tiriano. Ergam os troféus, exibam. Sem champanhe ainda, calma, que nós teremos a premiação agora. TCR Brasil, Corrida 2, Copa Trophy. Chamamos Fernando Grossi. Segundo colocado, Maria Nienkotter. E o vencedor da corrida, Adrian Tiriano. E agora sim, ao banho gostoso e refrescante do champanhe no pódio.